Amy Branum, and I am the herbal arts instructor here at Meristem. I am also a clinical herbalist. I also have my own herb school that I run outside of working here. I've been an herbalist for over 25 years, and this is my passion. I love sharing it with the students here at Meristem. So we try to incorporate working with the land as much as possible with making our herbal medicines here and herbal preparations. And we have gardens. We have an herbal garden right outside the classroom. We also have our vegetable garden, which also contains many herbs. We wildcraft throughout the property and even down to on our walks down to the river. The students with that, they get a full connection of what they're using in their body care products as we're making things to take care of our bodies. It's where do those ingredients come from, having that connection to the actual plant. So we will go out in the summer and harvest plants like calendula. In herbalism, in the world of herbalism, we don't want to just take the plants for granted. We have a connection to them. We have a connection to their beauty and their understanding. So when the students go out, we look at these through hand lenses so that you can see them up closely and see that a calendula is not just one flower. It's actually hundreds of flowers with 2 different types of flowers on each flower. And then we harvest them. We bring them in, and process them for teas, oil infusions. We also have a lot of yarrow, which is another one of our favorites. The students have learned to become very familiar with that. We have a huge row of yarrow flowers, and they get to not only learn the plants, they learn about them and the properties that they provide for our medicines. That way that when we later infuse this into oils, we take it, we hang it, dry it on drying racks, and then eventually it gets processed into bulk amounts of beautiful dried herbs. You cannot get this quality of herbs from any herb supplier. Even the best herb suppliers, it does not look like this. Any herbalist would be so happy to get herbs of this quality. So the students get to learn about vibrancy of herbs and what that vitality of this fresher medicine and well-prepared medicine creates as it adds into our body care products. Eventually this calendula will be infused into oil. The yarrow will be infused into oil to make things like salves or deodorant. And so when they make that deodorant, there is a deeper connection to the earth and to our gardens and where the plants came from and what they're using. And it's not just deodorant like we would buy from a grocery store. It has a deeper meaning and just that deeper connection. So it calms the nervous system simply by walking out into the garden. They get to learn that there is an intimate connection between us and the things that grow out there and how we can use them, and they're not just these are not just plants, right? Like just a generic plant category. There are different plants and they have different properties. So they get to practice not only plant identification and how things are structured, but it's also looking at the specifics, finding the very specific differences in how the leaves grow off of the stem, how the flowers grow. Are they radially symmetrical or are they bilaterally symmetrical? It's about bringing back joy and relaxing and having fun and playing with the plants that we are going to use later on for our medicine. And when we do that, when we have that joy with harvesting, it adds to our product quality later on, the energy of our product later on. So we get to put them in our hair. We get to laying them out beautifully in a basket actually is another thing that some of them will go crazy with their OCD and just make a beautiful display on a basket. And it is just visually stunning to get to see that and get them to use what maybe has been taught to them as a barrier, but they get to use it in a beautiful way. They get to, I've had students go out and harvesting roots. And when we're harvesting a root, and I was trying to teach them to not just pull up the root because it gets stuck in the ground. And so take your hands and guide your hands down through the soil to find the bottom of that root and the direction it goes in. And that in itself, when the students who may be high anxiety, not feeling uncomfortable in their bodies most of the time, right? And then when they went down into the soil to follow that root, you could visually see their whole body relax. You could see them, it's physical grounding in the soil. And I would watch the students, one after the other, being very high strung in the moments, and they would just sink down, and their shoulders and everything would drop as they went and followed this root down into the soil.